My name is Charles Ball, and I'm the head piano technician of the Butler School of Music at the University of Texas at Austin. May of 2010 will be my 30th anniversary. I've been working on piano since I was 16, just messing with my mother's piano. And I had a sense when I first started looking inside pianos as a kid, for some reason it just seemed like a very natural place for me to be, and I was fascinated by working with the pianos. I really was intrigued with the idea of doing concert preparation work, working for major artists and preparing pianos for major artists. The joy is definitely working with the people, and a school like this attracts extraordinarily gifted individuals, faculty and staff and the students. And so it's a joy actually to work with these really, really fine students. And so I see my job not just a mechanical job, but also one of supporting the performers and the students, of course, too. They'd be warming up, telling them they sound beautiful and everything's going to be fine, and try to help them because I have stage fright, performance anxiety, and so I wouldn't want to have to get up and do what they do. Keyboard instruments, let's say, are rather unique instruments because with most instruments, there's a very intimate connection between the performer's body and the actual source of the sound. It's their own voice, or it's the column of air that they're producing in a horn, or they have their finger right on the string and it's right under their chin. But with the piano and organ and a few other keyboard instruments, there's this mediating mechanism between the body of the performer, the finger or whatever, and the actual source of the sound. And so they're very dependent upon that being in really, really fine performance order. And when it is performing the way they like, they'll say it feels like an extension of my own body. They feel like they have real control, and not just mechanical control, but control over the expression and the color and range of dynamics and so forth. They're very dependent on us, the mechanics, that maintain these instruments to enable them to express what they're trying to express musically. If you have one concert piano on a stage, you're going to have it put to a good many different kinds of uses. It may be used in a Bach concerto, or they could be playing Brahms or Rachmaninoff. And to try to make the same piano serve all of that music equally well is difficult, challenging. And also you have pianists that have different expectations. They want you to customize the piano to their own particular taste or for the particular music they're playing. Some of them, when they get really older and established in their careers, they start traveling with their own piano, so they don't have to go through that agony of trying to adjust to a different piano every night. The head technician at Steinway Hall in New York for many years was a man named Franz Mohr. He tuned for Horowitz and Rubinstein, a lot of the legendary pianists, and I heard him say more than once, you know, thank God I don't have to get out there and perform before 2,000 people. I get to do my job in an empty hall. It's learning what to listen to, I think, and cultivating a sense of discrimination. But there's no stone tablets that came down off of Mount Sinai that said this is what constitutes good sound. It's all established by our preferences and our practices and our conditionings and our traditions. But it's important as a piano technician who does concert work to cultivate that sense, not so much for tuning. Tuning is kind of universal, but what we call voicing, creating the tone of the instrument. Tuning is adjusting the tension of the strings. Voicing is adjusting the timbre and the quality of the sound, the balance, the power, all of that. And I find as I've gotten older, I've become much more of a minimalist. And I tend to seem to do less with the instruments, and yet by being very precise and focused with what I do, I maintain the piano where I want it without extraordinary means. Van Cliburn certainly is someone I've tuned for several times. He's a big name. I asked Van if he would come and sign the piano afterwards, and he was very gracious, and he came over and has beautiful signature still on the piano. And Leon Fleischer, who's played that piano several times, a famous pianist and teacher, it's got a lot of signatures now. You know, when I look at a piano, I think about all of the students and faculty that some of them no longer living, who've played on that piano over the years. They're like an artifact a time capsule or something. I don't know quite the term to use, but the family that sacrificed so they could come here from Korea, perhaps, and that came over at great expense to hear the senior recital on that piano. I think that there is some sort of an interaction between us and our world, our material world around us. We have some influence upon one another. One time I was working on that Hamburg and Jessen underneath on the pedals, and I found something up underneath on one of the beams, and it was red velvet, and it had some sort of dried floral, herbal sorts of things in there, and some other little symbolic things, like it might have been some sort of a good luck talisman or something that had been put under there. I never did quite figure it out. It wasn't causing any harm, but you just think about in 30 years, all the recitals that have taken place. I look at those yellow worn ivories on the piano and think about its history. So it's been an honor to work here, actually, work with all these people over the years.